This is an instructional video about scatter plots. For this video, you need to tear out textbook page 245, 246, and 247. You also need to tear out workbook page 297 and 298. Go and staple those together right now. We are going to start on textbook page 245 with problem number 10. It says, which pair of variables would you expect to have a negative association? Remember, a negative association is when one variable is increasing and the other variable is decreasing. It shows a downward trend in the data. Letter A, the amount of money you make in a week and the number of hours you work during the week. Letter B, a person's height and the number of pets he or she owns. Letter C, the speed at which a person drives to work and the time it takes her to get to work. And letter D, the number of friends you have and the number of birthday parties you attend in a year. So if we look at each of those choices, remember we're looking for the negative association. And so if we look at letter A, the amount of money you make in a week and the number of hours you work in a week, that is going to be a positive association because the more hours you work, the more money you're going to make. They're both increasing. Letter B is going to be no association because a person's height and how many pets he or she owns has no relationship. You can be short and have a lot of pets, you can be tall and have a lot of pets. It does not matter. Letter C is our correct answer for our negative association because the faster she drives to work, speed is increasing, the less time it is going to take. One is going up, speed, time is going down. Letter D is also a positive association because the more friends you have, that's going up, the more birthday parties you will attend, that's going up as well. At the bottom it says Brian chose B as the correct answer. Why is choice B incorrect? We said that choice B is incorrect because it has no association. There is no relationship between height and number of pets owned. Number 1, students at Central Middle School decided to gather survey data for their classmates on a number of different questions. Which pair of variables from the survey would be most likely to have no association with one another? Now remember, no association means that there is no relationship between the two variables. So let's look at all of our answer choices. Letter A, number of hours spent studying per week and grade point average. We can say that those do have a relationship. They have a positive relationship because the more you study, that's going up, the higher your grade is going to be. Both of those are increasing. The more you study, the higher your grade point average, so that is a positive relationship. Letter B, height in inches and age in months. That is also a positive relationship because the older you are, the taller you are going to be. Letter C, the number of books owned and number of visits to the doctor's office in 1 year. That is going to be our correct answer because that is a no association because it does not matter how many books you have and how many times you go to the doctor. Nobody says that you own 20 books, so you don't have to go to the doctor. That's not a statement that is made, and so they have no relationship. Letter D, height and weight. That is also a positive relationship because the taller you are, the more you are going to weigh. Number 2, the scatter plot below represents 2011 data comparing the average teacher salary and average student to teacher ratios for a number of school districts in the state of Vermont. Choose true or false for each statement. Letter A, an outlier exists at the point representing a salary of approximately $62,000. So teacher salary is here across the bottom. And if we look at approximately $62,000, that's going to be about here. You can see that there is a point up here that is all by itself. An outlier is a point that is separate from the rest of the group. So A is true. Letter B, there is a negative linear association between average salaries and average student-teacher ratios. This statement is false. These data points are not in any particular order. If it's a negative linear association, that means the data points go in a downward trend. These data points do not, and so this statement is false. Letter C, the smallest school district has an average student-to-teacher ratio of approximately 8.6. So student-to-teacher ratio is over here along the side. If we want to look at the smallest one, the smallest dot is going to be about here, just above our mark. And that is going to be above 7.5. So this statement is false. It is not around 8.6. It is around 7.5, excuse me. Letter D, there is a positive linear association between average salaries and average student-teacher ratios. This statement is also false. For there to be a positive linear association, it means that the data points are going in an upward linear trend. These data points are not linear and there is no positive correlation. It is more of a no correlation scatter plot. Letter E, the school district with an average salary of $48,000 and a student-to-teacher ratio of 13 is an outlier compared to districts paying less than $48,000. So if we find the $48,000 mark, it's going to be about here. And for 13 as the student-to-teacher ratio, that's here between 12.5 and 13.5. If you look at where those two meet, it's going to be this dot here. And we can consider that dot to be an outlier, so that statement is true. That outlier is separate from the rest of the group. Number 3, each scatter plot below can be described by one of the following types of association. Write the correct association below each scatter plot. So for the scatter plot, the points start here at the top and go in a downward trend. So we are going to say that that is a negative because it's going down. And it is linear because those are almost in a straight line. The second one, the points start here at the bottom and then go to the top. So that is going to be a positive association because they're going up. It is also linear because the points are almost in a straight line. The third one is going to be none because there is no association. Those points do not go up and they do not go in a downward trend. The last one is non-linear because while the points do show some type of relationship, they go up and then they go down, it does not go in a straight line, so it is non-linear. For problem number 4, you are going to do this problem completely on your own. I will go over the information with you so that you have a full understanding of what is expected. It says invent your own set of bivariate data. Use the blank table in the scatter plot to both create and show your data. The data set should meet the following conditions. All x values must be between 0 and 20. That is why the x-axis across the bottom only goes up to 20. All y values must be between 0 and 15. That's why the y-axis only goes up to 15. The association between the variables should be both negative and linear, meaning it should be almost a straight line. And it should be negative, meaning it should go in a downward trend. One point should be labeled an outlier. Remember, an outlier is separate from the rest of the group. One way to start would be to plot your points first. Because it wants to be negative, we want to start here at the top and end down here at the bottom. I recommend plotting your points first and then filling in the XY chart with the numbers that you have already plotted. Moving on to workbook page 297. Problem number 1. Does the data seem to have a linear or nonlinear association? Explain how you know. The data has a linear association because the data points almost form a straight line. We can see here that our data points start here at the bottom and run to the top, almost in a straight line. Number 2, are there any points that lie outside the general trend of the data and might be considered an outlier? Yes. This point here at about 6 and 80 is separate from the rest of the group. Who would you expect to have a higher income? Someone with 4 years of experience or 8 years? Why? I would expect a person with 8 years of experience to make more money because the data chart has a positive association, meaning both variables are increasing. People with 8 years of experience here along the bottom are making close to $50,000, $60,000. People with 4 years of experience are only making about $30,000 to $40,000. Number 4, would the gallons of gas a car uses and the distance it travels have a positive or negative association? Explain. It would have a positive association because the more gas a car uses, the farther it will go. Both variables are increasing. The more gas, the farther it goes. They are both increasing, and so that is a positive association. Number 5, describe any trend that you see in the scatter plot. I see that the points are decreasing from left to right. That means they're going down, meaning that the value of the car decreases with age, meaning older cars are worth less than a new car. Number 6, what type of association does there appear to be between the value of the car and the age of the car? Explain. There is a negative association because there is a downward trend to the data. The value decreases as age increases. Remember, a negative association is when one variable increases while the other variable decreases. You're going to do problem number 7 on your own. It says graph 16 points on the scatter plot at the right that show no association between a person's age and how much television they watch per week. Explain how you know that there is no association. Remember, no association means that it does not go up and it does not go down, and it is not linear. It's where the points are not related at all. They are scattered randomly across the graph. Make sure that you explain how you know that there is no association. You need to write in complete sentences and take up all of your space.